All right, folks, let's I'm in the truck and I'm gonna take it for a quick test drive and see how it does. Adjusted here. My seat's kind of out of whack. There we go. Okay. Let's see how she does. My Challenger there. There's already a lot of traffic out this morning, Saturday morning. Fast, not even the speed limit, as luck would have it. You'd think it was Sunday. So far, pretty good. This road's wonky. I mean, you really can't tell on curvy roads that dip left and right. But I'm right at 50 miles an hour, and it's not really pulling any which way. Seems to be riding pretty straight. Straight there, you know, part here that's I'm holding the steering wheel and it's fairly straight. Just kind of turn around and just go back the same way I came. Let's see if I can not get behind somebody going 40 miles an hour. That's too much to ask. It's like an expressway out this morning. They just paved this road, that's why I'm trying to stay on this road, because it's nice and smooth. Unfortunately, everybody else is on this road. So here's a nice stretch here. Let's see if I can get up to the speed limit. good. I can still feel the tire out around. But I think that's probably using the alignment method that I did, I'd say the results are excellent. Basically, a piece of string and 4 old jack stands. Fortunately, I can't even speed limit on this road is 50, so usually people do 55 and 60, and barely can get to 45. So pretty sure the rest of that vibration is coming from the out-round tire, and believe it or not, when I bought these tires brand new, and they're a very reputable brand, and so I was kind of shocked to see one. I saw it on the balance machine, and the technician stated when I saw it, he said, "Well, you know, they all do that." I was like, "Oh, really? They all look like eggs when you balance them." Okay. New for me. So at that point, what do? You really can't do much. You either got to buy a new set of tires, or you got to live with it. And I'm not buying a new set of tires, so I'm just going to live with it. So. Doing all this work myself, shocks and stabilizer, steering rack, alignment, the camber alignment, the caster alignment I knew was off, so I did that myself, but it was better than the way it was. Somebody had completely cocked the front left control arm because they don't really understand steering geometry. One thing I did want to clarify was when I was kind of sizing up the rack, was that I kind of mentioned that they were, and they may have been just a little bit shorter, but it didn't affect anything. I think I mentioned I wasn't sure if it was the correct rack for the truck. Well, it fit just fine. I actually took a measurement from the very tip of the tie rod end, or what we consider to be the rod that attaches to the tie rod that's on the rack itself. So I took from end to end. That measurement was the same on both the one that came out of my truck and the new one. It was about 49.5. So I was kind of freaking out there, thinking that it wasn't the correct rack, but it was the correct rack. The steering ratio might be a little different because I talked to a friend of mine. He said those numbers that I was looking at, those might be, you know, when the rack itself was made. Yeah, so those numbers that I saw on the rack, those probably didn't mean anything. And now you can tell I'm going miles an hour. Maybe having to hold the steering wheel just a little bit to the left, but the police like to set up speed traps on this road, so this road is has a very high crown on it, so you do have to have a little bit of pull to one side because as most roads are crowned, so if you set it perfectly straight, you're going to be drifting off to the right. So I did the best I could with what I had to work with, and unfortunately I've gotten behind somebody going slow again. Other than that tire that, I don't know if it shows up in the camera or not, but the front end is not vibrating anymore. I can feel that. I can feel the wobble in that out around tire, but I'm gonna have to slow down because close to the speed trap, so I'm gonna have to slow down a little bit. For whatever reason, when they designed this road, and I'm sure if you're a conspiracy theorist, you would say, well, they made a 5.5, 6-lane road, and they made this road as a through road because this was just a little 2-lane, really windy, not very well paved, just an old small highway, and they bought up a bunch of land, turned it into a 6-lane highway, and but yet they decided to make the speed limit 45, and the road that runs parallel that I live off of, they left the speed limit 50, and it's a 2-lane road. This is a 6-lane road, and it's 45. So you tell me good bunch of dump trucks this morning. You tell me the rationale behind that. It does look like, I mean, the steering wheel is almost center, but looks like I am tilting it a little bit to the left when I drive, but you know, that's to be expected. You're not gonna, oh good, now I'm behind a pontoon boat, and so I'd say it's pretty good though. I'm pretty satisfied with it. I'm not getting the shaking in the front. I can feel the shake of that out around tire like I mentioned before, but unfortunately there's nothing I can do about that, so I'm just gonna have to live with it. But otherwise, the front end's real good. So much for a nice Saturday morning drive. It doesn't take much of an adjustment on alignment to, you know, make it pull one way or the other. On this road right here, I'm almost holding the steering wheel dead center, but that 6-lane highway had a pretty good crown in it, so that wasn't a real good test. This road up here, if these two people don't turn left, I'm going to turn left and go back on this road. Even has a very pronounced crown. But I mean, steering feels great. It feels tight. I put my stabilizer back on. may try and take it for alignment and see, see if I can get it just a little bit better. But it seems every time I take it to an alignment shop and they use their high-tech machine, I get it back and it pulls to the left. So that's the reason why I taught myself how to do my own alignments, because I got tired of paying money and getting it back and having it at least one thing wrong, either the steering wheel not centered or pulling to, it would always pull to the left. And that's because they were adjusting the control arm, the camber and the caster incorrectly. And I mean, I don't, as of now, it's not my daily driver, so as long as it's good on between up to about 60 miles an hour, I don't take it on the expressway much. There's really no need to go and keep spending more money to have somebody. At this point, it drives pretty good. They'd probably make it worse. I'm very happy with it. The front end is not shaking. I'm over the point. I'm in the range of where I was getting the bad wobble in the front, and I'm not getting that wobble anymore at all. The outer round tire throws you off a little bit as far as what you can feel, and I think that tire's on the left rear, unfortunately. Should be on the right rear. So at some point I may just flip-flop those tires. But I mean, super happy with the result. So if you can tell from the video how smooth the truck is driving. I finally got it dialed in. Super happy with that. And I did a transmission filter replacement last weekend on it. I didn't videotape it, but I took the trans pan off, and it had a little bit of debris on the magnet, a little bit in the pan, but not bad at all. Didn't have too much sludge in the bottom, didn't have hardly any in the bottom of the pan. A little bit around the magnet and some of those grooves. There was a little bit, and the filter was dirty because you could see the black buildup on the sides of the pan and on the bottom of the valve body. So if there was, kind of the clutch material on the walls, on the side, and on the valve body, then it was in the filter. The filter was pretty dirty. It had probably been in there since brand new. And the transmission probably had somewhere between 50 and 60,000 miles on it. So, and he turns his turn signal on. The last minute. I got 2 cameras going. So yeah, you can see it shifts fine. No issues there. Drives well. I missed my turn. Guess we'll just go up here to the gas station and turn around. I left the steering stabilizer on. You know, technically I shouldn't have needed it with the new rack, but again, I think I mentioned it before, these are you know, I guess if you put mud tires on a 4x4 Dakota, I guess they can be kind of wide too, but these are 255 size tires. They're supposed to be 55s, but I put a 60 series on it so you get just a little bit better ride. They're wider than your normal STX or baseline Dakota. So there's and people usually put better tires on these Dakotas, grippy tires, and that puts more load on the Rack and Pinion than on a normal baseline model truck. May not be true for a 4x4, so that would contribute to the Rack and Pinion wearing out quicker, because this is, as I showed you in the video, that rack was a replacement rack, so it had already been replaced once. So this is at least its 3rd rack. So something's causing them to wear out prematurely. They will not pave that part of the road. They keep patching it. And the patches are horrible, as you can see. You would think they would have paved this whole road, but the county line is right up here, so there we go. Another 30 miles an hour staring at your cell phone. Kind of drift. The caster is off, and it's kind of still drifting a little bit, but nothing like it was before I put the rack in. Yeah, pretty good. Real good, real good. Very happy with that. So you can see here. Oops. I don't know if you can see that, but truck's up to temp, and I think I'm running 5W30. I've got at idle on a pretty warm day, and you can see the truck, I just drove it, sitting at idle is still 30, 35.